You know what today is? It's Friday. You know what that means? This is literally my Friday. Episode 40 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Today we're going to have the editor-in-chief, founder, creator of Transcending Sound, Amirah Muhammad, on today. We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things such as writer's life, pretty much writing within the city, and the state of R&B within the city in 2020. Gonna be a really nice episode. Shouts out Rusty, shouts out Turfland. Thank you guys for all your support. If you, it's not. Oh yeah, it is leopard print, but I cut the sleeves off because I wanted to be a wrestler. But like that was before it was hot, and now that it's hot, I have to wear this robe. I was never supposed to wear this robe on this show. This is supposed to be like an in the house robe, like an in the house robe. But yeah, it's way too hot for me to go full on gown. So yeah, shouts out Graffy. I do like a fighting game character. It's very annoying. So once Amirah's on, we're just gonna go ahead and get that starts head. Let's see. See if I can find. There you go. Boom. Score exotic, dude. Shut up. Yeah, but thanks everybody for showing love all week. I think this has been a pretty good week. Pretty good week connection wise too. IG was not wilding out. Thank God for that. We got Transcending Sound in the building. We're about to get starts head with this nice little live interview. It's all lovey, dovey, and all that stuff. As you guys can tell, I have like no energy in me. I really don't. We in there?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right. Okay, everybody, please welcome episode 40 in the books. We have Inside the Rapper Studio. I'm your host, Score Swayze, and today we have a very special guest in the building. We have the founder, creator, editor-in-chief, Mama Bear of Transcending Sound. Everybody, please show your love. Drop likes, drop hearts, drop comments for the one, the only, Amirah Muhammad.
Hey, you guys. So happy to be here. So happy that y'all are here.
Go ahead, Kate. I'm not Fred Flintstone, dude. Stop it.
Yeah. He's right. He's
I'm,
right. Title's right.
it's hot. I was never supposed to wear this robe, like, ever. But
Now it's part of your brand.
nah, how are you today, Amirah?
I am great. How you doing?
I'm hot.
I mean, yesterday was worse though, because you really had that.
Oh no, that was like
warm.
the black garb of death.
Yep.
I felt like the sweat trails. It wasn't positive at all. So, could you? Well, I mean, you know how these things go. Essentially, with the origin story of every guest that comes on in the show. So, could you tell us how everything got started musically for Amirah?
Ooh, wait, musically period, or we talking about Transcendent Sound? Because there's two different stories.
We can get both.
All right.
Whole hour.
All right. So musically, from what I can remember, I've been singing since I was a baby. I definitely can remember vividly in elementary school singing. I think probably like third grade. So I was 8. So singing since then. Then I started playing the trumpet in middle school, which really helped the vocals. So if you want to say I'm great, that's probably why. And then I started playing piano in high school. I took a keyboarding class at City. Whoop, whoop. So yeah. And with Transcendent Sound, I've actually been blogging on and off for better part of a decade. I left University of Maryland. That's where I went right after City. And I was a little depressed, for real. And Lupe Fiasco's The Cool came out around that time. That's how old I am. I was wondering. So keyboard. Oh, so yes, keyboard class. Yes. So the Cool came out, and I heard them shout out Lupe's fan blog at the end of Fighters, going into Go Baby. Yes. And I was like, you know what? Let me start blogging real quick. Also, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to be noticed by Lupe, because actually Lupe is one of my top 5. So, because I know you're gonna ask that question at some point.
I was trying to leave Lupe out of the questions, like regardless. You know how I feel about Lupe at this point, but I was trying to make it more a mirror focus and more transcending sound.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a part of me, I guess. So the reason why I blog is because a Lupe song inspired me to start blogging. So I started blogging from there. It was more of a personal blog. Then I stopped blogging, got a little bit more creative in terms of what my focus wanted to be. And I knew music was definitely one of my focuses. So I decided to just do, hey, let's make it a little bit more focused. And that became Amirah Rashida, which is what you were on the interview back in 2013.
Yeah, that was for Mask Off Game. My final project is Akmar Shabazz.
As Akmar Shabazz. That's how far we go back.
For the ones that were very late to the party, I wasn't all for Swayze. I went by the moniker Akmar Shabazz. Quick little history. Actually, I'd rather you tell it, being as though you're the guest. And
you go ahead. You go ahead. This is a conversation.
All right. So basically, I was doing somewhat of the rollout for my last project as Akmar Shabazz, which is Mask Off Game On. I was really trying to like go hard in terms of like outside of studio stuff, such as like merch with the mask and the shirt combo. I'm pretty sure some people still got those. Doing like the director's cut situation, also doing interviews and things like that. And one of the people that reached out to me, or if I can remember, the only person to reach out to me, was Amirah Rashida.
What? Are you serious?
You know how things go in the city.
Oh my God.
That's why the show exists, so there wouldn't be one of those the only person shout outs. I'd rather have that spread love, it's the Brooklyn way kind of thing going on.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's really not that many music bloggers in the city, and if they are not really well known. So I can't name that many.
One thing I will say is the music blogs that do exist in the city, at least on my end, I try my hardest to like kind of give that reach out towards them. And on music blogs, I do want to touch more in detail with Transcending Sound, the pretty much premier blog that you're hosting right now. So I want to know how, one, you got started with the name, and two, what does the name mean to
you? So for me, I feel like a lot of blogs are just focused on posting music. And I didn't want to be just focused on posting music. I feel like there's always a story behind the artist that creates the music. And that was what my goal was about. My other goal was to make sure that, creatives weren't making, a lot of silly mistakes throughout their, career in terms of, like marketing and just things like that. So I wanted to make sure that my site was a resource that, independent creators could reach out to and get those types of information from.
Gotcha. Do you feel
so that's where Transcendent Sound came from.
Haha. We connected dots. Thank you. So with the pretty much the outside of the box thinking in terms of the blog, such as like not just doing write-ups or doing like, I'm saying reviews on albums or interviews, do you feel as though that gives you an edge in terms of having a blog? Because a lot of the times nowadays it's just two-dimensional, or it's just pay for promo.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like maybe it's my way of marketing, but sometimes folks they don't read the website. They don't realize that I don't like do regular old submissions like, hey yo, like can you post my music? Like I don't do that. But I do playlists though. And you can, be like, hey, this would be dope on your playlist. But see, people I hate to do this soapbox thing, but
But for
I hate
but
it.
this is giving you so if you have box, then gosh darn it, soapbox.
I hate it that like folks like I think one major thing about artists and submitting to blogs or even reaching out to blogs is that they don't realize what the blog's mission is, what the blog's objective is, and what the blog's, main target audience is. You know what I'm saying? So they'll be reaching out to me like, hey, can you post my music? And I'm just like, that's not what I do over here. Like, that's not my party. And mind you, I'm a one-woman band. I do this all on my own. So I really don't have, I mean, there's folks have done it in the past that have blown up from it, but I don't have all day to be scouring music and just posting it on the blog. I mean, that would bring me a lot of foot traffic for sure. But no, that's not what I'm passionate about. My passion is mostly about helping artists get their story out and help them, encourage them to just do more with their careers, truth be told. So,
Gotta respect that. I do appreciate all the hard work that you've done.
thank
Not
you.
for me, but for other artists as well within the city. So I also wanted to talk about writing life in the city. A lot of the times we don't get the perspective of the writer within the city, within music, especially hip hop, because I feel like a lot of the times, even most people that would be on the show would agree, whether it be DJs, producers, or managers, the rapper gets all the spotlight. That's
Mm, yeah.
so. What do you feel as though? Well, I guess how would you describe your viewership in a sense when it comes to being a writer?
Well, see, I don't limit myself to Baltimore, but my I'm here. I'm here in Baltimore, so you know, I meet y'all. I'll just like randomly like talk to y'all on. How did we meet, by the way? I'm just trying to remember.
It was probably Twitter. I was doing some wild boy shit.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds about right.
Ourselves here. Prior to trolling.
Yeah.
What 2011, 2012. This is like prime Tyler era, so I was definitely on that troll stuff.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Because when we met, you was trolling me.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
y'all. Matter of fact, he didn't talk for like a good 5 minutes.
I did. I there. And I'm still there, so some things just don't change.
Yeah. So yeah. So usually my connection to actually my connection to music here in Baltimore was really from um either going to events or just talking to somebody on Twitter and just like, oh, you a rapper? Oh, you a producer? Oh, you a singer? Bad. I'll support. And I'm big on supporting. I will definitely I would definitely support you and be like, oh word. That's how me and Elle did our interview together actually. I was watching one of your interviews and I was like, oh, she seems dope. Let me check out her music. And that's how that happened. So
Well, I think is she in the building? Yes, she is
yep,
in the
she's
building.
here.
Okay. I guess what is it? 8:15. I guess it's time to do the shout outs. Because like when it comes to the whole shout out routine, I do it by the songs. But since I'm doing a writer, I had to do it randomly. So yeah. Huge shouts out to TJW913. Shouts out Action Bastard. Shouts out to Peacefully Neat. Shouts out Solo King Bond. Who else we got in here? Of course, shouts out L Cook. If you don't know, L Cook just dropped a recent project called After Hours. Check that out on all streaming services.
Yeah.
Also got Title Lee King. Title just dropped a recent project recently called Texas. Check that out on all streaming services. Who else do we have? Man, I swear this is just promo hour. we got Beth Banger in the building. Beth just dropped a project. Everybody's really working hard on the B4D side. Harder Fire Check that out on all streaming. Speed on the Beat is in here. BB Watts, pretty stacked up. We got Rusty too, Turf Lamb.
Mm-hmm. You talk
Everybody.
about Old Bay Blunts? You mentioned Old Bay Blunts?
Old Bay Blunts is here. Well, since everybody's here, hey guys, did you know that Old Bay Blunts, that's what services too? Huge shout out to that city and all his hard work. Also, shouts out the whole time though, another blog in the city.
Yep.
So, Miss Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
writer, course, editor in chief, owner, Mama Bear of.
Mama Bear.
I want to talk to you about Amirah, the singer, not just the writer. Of course, I'm not going to make you sing. That's not what this.
There's a couple people in here that's probably want to hear me sing.
I know, but
we'll think about it.
We'll
think about it
right now. So, I wanted to talk to you about your, I guess, lane in singing, because a lot of the times people will come to you and ask you for like verses or ask you for like writing a chorus, anything like that. So I want to get your perspective in it, right, like in your state of your career right now.
You know what's so funny? I do not consider myself a creative in that realm. Like, I don't write music. I know that's crazy. There'll be people that be like, hey, I'll write something for you as long as you hop on and sing. But I don't actually write music. No. Mm-mm. I will definitely bust out with a whole cover though. I'll definitely do that.
We are huge fans of the covers. I wanted to actually ask you about the covers because I felt like that was a series that you did. Was it not a series, or was it just something you did consistently?
It was something I did kind of consistently. Kind of. Yeah.
Gotcha. So would you consider doing a series of covers, being as though that I guess there's less pressure doing a cover? Or are you just like completely out the singing game, the jerseys in the rafters, you are tired?
So shout out to you for, but
He's
not in here, but shout out to you for. Yeah, I've been talking about doing a mixtape of covers for like a minute now, and I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little bit of the pressure, so I definitely gonna have to, get it together.
Our music, Amirah. I mean, don't hate.
I'm just saying. I keep getting asked about it. So when you putting it out, so when you recording this, all right, fam, all right. So yeah, it'll have to happen sometime soon.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Oh, I hope you heard it here first. We might have that Amirah Rashida EP on the way, full of covers. You should call it Blanket because it's a cover. The Blanket.
Really? I'm for it though.
Sorry. But yeah, so when it comes to singing, you also mentioned U4, and first of all, huge shouts out to U4 and all the work that he's done, a Baltimore legend in my opinion. Would you credit most of his production style, like not necessarily I know he would hate me saying lo-fi, but like the boom bap, or like he has but like pretty much that wave of beats and stuff like that. Would you find it easier to sing on songs like those with a lot of deep soul and like uncoordinated beats and things like that?
Yes, and I like to have a little knock on my beats too. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's my my love for hip hop coming out. I didn't even talk about that, but yeah.
Let's talk about it. So, with your hop, you already mentioned how Lupe Fiasco inspired you somewhat to start blogging and things like that. In a sense, that created your lane for transcending sound. Who would you consider nowadays to still carry that somewhat of a torch for inspiring you to write for transcending sound?
Well, I didn't talk about that. So when I had plans on going to law school, that didn't work out. But before I had planned on it, I stopped blogging through Amirah Rashida. So transcending sound came from me like, all right, we're gonna get back into it. But Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly was the actual album that encouraged me to start writing for Transcendent Sound again. So I gotta mention Kendrick.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, a lot of people consider it a dead horse candidate, but I mean, he's done the work. Like you got to.
I know what triggers you, so I'm like,
What triggers me?
You have certain artists that be just like,
No.
Remember Talib?
I've grown up. I forget about myself thing. So like, that's for those that are like super out of context right now. When it came to the player haters ball, I won 7 years in a row. We recently just got out of that. So I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to the growth, like I hear that a lot of times when I talk to like people from like back in the day to now, and they like certain artists, and they'll wait for me to like explode with some type of rant. I don't. People work, I work. Bottom line, as long as you're working, you be mad at
anybody. That's that getting older thing doing.
20 on a bricks. I'm not ready. Yeah. Also, for those that are not in the clear, I do consider Amirah to be like somewhat of an older sister for me, because like pretty much being like, you know what I'm saying, graduating from City, 10 years, by the way. I'm not going to do the applause thing. I just got out of prison. That's how I see it. So pretty much graduating from City, and just like seeing her like later on down the line and realizing, oh, she graduated from City too. And like it kind of gave that older aspect, somebody to look up to a lot and seek guidance and things like that. And she's been there for me for all that stuff. So huge shouts out to her, of course. Also, give a few recaps. Of course, this is episode 40 of Inside the Rapper Studio. I'd like to thank our wonderful guest, Amirah, once again for joining me on this show and taking time out of her day to answer these hard-hitting in your business questions. Give a few more shout-outs to everybody that's in the building. Shouts out to Ashley Page. Huge shouts out to Justice. Justice and the team at Demo Tape is doing a lot of great work.
Yeah.
Huge them. Shouts out to Benjamin Banger. He's over there. You guys don't see him because you can't.
Hey, Ben.
He said, hey, Ben. He said, what's up, in a very slow, longing voice. Who else we got? Usual suspects. Everybody's here. Shouts out late Skywalker. I want to say that right.
Yeah.
So I want to also talk to you about open mics. You are a fan of open mics, correct?
Yes, I am.
Explain why.
Yeah. So open mics, folks get real creative. They get real creative. So the not the one that I performed at, but the one that I went to before I performed. Actually, is she in? No, she's not in here. Oh my gosh, Bobby Rush from here. She got on stage at this open mic and just covered Maxwell's Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder. Went on a 10-minute, just like.
That's how they go, especially R&B mics.
Yo, went off. I just love it. I love the creativity. I love finding out about new creatives or creatives I haven't heard of. That's just another way of me making sure that I continuously consume Baltimore artists, first of all, and independent artists, people who are really like super deep into their music game, but are, trying to get into it. You know what I'm saying? So I love doing that. And then for me personally, it gets me out of my shell, because a lot of times I'll be just like, I don't want to do the open mic. Let me tell you, when I was at Maryland, matter of fact, Speed on the Beat is probably still in here. That's my bro. He went to City with me. And we also went to Maryland together. I used to do open mics at Maryland. And I remember I was freaking out. Like, I was like, yo, I can't do this, yo. Like, it's too many people here. Oh my God, there's too many talented people in here. And then I'm like second guessing, like, if I'm actually decent or not. And then I get on there and I sing first couple notes was a little shaky, then I, smooth sailing after that. So yeah, it's the way for me to get out of my own way and just, thrive,
Be
be
the
who I'm supposed to
butterfly
be.
that we know you are.
Exactly.
Got Do you feel as though with open mics they give more of a stage to singers than any other platform? Because a lot of the times when you go into scenes and go into shows, it's kind of heavily thought for rap. So do you
Mm.
consider open mics to kind of give more leeway to R&B?
Depending on how it's set up. Now, the one that I did a few months ago was definitely R&B. They even market themselves as R&B. And they have a live band in there, and they've had people do like poetry and rap in there, but it just, depending on how you market it, it will, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's yeah, this is not the scene for that. Um, there was a guy rapping, and I was like, you're not fitting into the vibe of the place.
Yeah, the way you
Yeah, especially with folks who come in with their own backing tracks and they be trying to play. Yeah, so I feel like if you see a band in there, maybe it's not your scene if you
yeah.
a rapper, unless you out here like, yeah, just play a beat real quick and then like I'll freestyle or something. But like, no, most people are trying to actually perform their own personal music. So if you're not somebody that they know, then it's not gonna make sense for you to be like, yeah, I wanna hop on this open mic. Like, nah. It depends on how the open mic is set up. But if it's a band in there, most likely, if you rapping, nah.
What was the name of the open mic you went to? Because this sounds extremely familiar.
It's at, they have them, well, before quarantine. They had them at the Civil. It's the actual open mic is called The Vibe. That's what they call
Right.
it. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it sounds a lot like the events that used to go on in like the living room space or something like that, or the living space.
Mm,
And I believe
no.
host was like what was the person's name? I'm so sorry that I'm like blanking right now, guys. Uh, it was like Deep Poet or Deep something. And I remember at one show I went to, like they proposed to him. They proposed to their partner, and it was like a big
Oh.
all that stuff. But it was like a lot of like open mic. It was very sing songy. It was very neo soul.
Mm.
Um, I feel as though, in my personal opinion, not to like editorialize or anything like that,
Oh, go ahead.
a lot of the times R&B really lives within these open mics, and not just R&B, neo soul. So I wanted to get your opinion on neo soul or the current state of it in the year 2020.
Does it exist? I mean, there's a couple, there's a couple folks that, give that kind of vibe, but it's definitely a lot more hip hop in terms of R&B, you know, that really exists. Shoot, even Elle Cook, like I told her that one of my favorite things about her music is that it knocks. You know what I'm saying? Like neo soul don't knock.
Right.
It does not knock.
It doesn't.
It's just not knock at all. But I feel like open mics, um, especially when I go in there and sing, I'm usually singing, you're right, neo soul. And usually neo soul from like 2000, 2001, 2002. So you
The house.
absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Who would you consider more so neo soul in this year? Because being as though it's a questionable thing of whether or not it still exists, there still has to be people that kind of fit in that genre, that kind of fit in that lane. So who would you consider to fit in that lane?
Hmm. There's an artist that I like. Her name is Alex Isley. She is the daughter of Ernie Isley of the Isley brothers.
Oh
She,
wow.
yeah. She's pretty neo soul. Um, who else? And more contemporary R&B that most people may know, I feel like Lucky Day is on that border. Yeah, Lucky Day. Um, uh, mm, Layla Hathaway when she wants to be.
Yeah, she being a like I never put her in a certain R&B bag. It's just that she do what she want and it just works.
Right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, I don't really think of that many people in neo soul right now. Maybe what's her name? Maybe Snow Allegra, a little bit, just a little bit. Yes,
Leah.
Rusty. There you go. There you go. I don't really listen to much Mahalia, but yes, and Ari. Yes, I was gonna mention Ari too. Yeah, but I feel like she got a little bit of knock too because she would dream big. So
Yeah, I mean, when you got that production team behind you, that kind of shifts the tone. So
yeah, but yeah, her definitely her background is definitely neo soul.
absolutely. I mean, when
Yeah.
you're running that like DC lane, running on U Street, not part of U Street, but like neo, so like Black U Street,
Hmm.
like you kind of get into that bag. Like when I was living in DC for those 2 years of like 2013 and 2014, and just running into those artists and singers and stuff like that, they had it down pat. It was you could smell the incense from outside. Like that's how. Like it's kind of missing. We don't really have it anymore, you know. Not to be like the old guy on the porch, like saying like we don't. My time is over, but like I feel as though the time of neo soul kind of is like waning, and it's kind of depressing.
Hmm.
Do you feel as though like it's necessary to even have neo soul at this age and this timeline?
I'm more focused on R&B as a whole though, because of course there's always this conversation about is R&B dead? Like no, R&B isn't dead. It just just like with hip hop, it continuously evolves. So you may not hear R&B the same way as you did in the 90s right now. Just like you don't hear hip hop the same way as you heard it in the 90s as right now. So, you know,
Makes
I'm more
sense.
about yeah, I'm more about R&B as a whole. So not really neo soul per se, but definitely
The big
R&B.
picture.
That's the big picture.
Gotcha. So just a quick little recap. Of course, this is episode 40 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Today we have the most wonderful guest of Amirah Muhammad, co-founder, editor-in-chief, and mama bear of Transcendent Sound. Give a few more shouts out to everybody that's in the building. Huge shouts out to Tom Castles, just stepped.
Oh,
Also shouts out to El Busy, former guest of the show. Who else we got in here? Shouts out Quan from CT. Huge shouts out to Connecticut. I don't know why, but I feel like I should be shouting out Connecticut right now. Shouts out to Lavender Ghostwolf. Shouts out to KLA. Shouts out to Late Skywalker again. Okay, so one of the final things that I wanted to talk to you about, Miss Muhammad, is the art of the interview. I most recently caught your interview with El Cook, and it was one of those interviews that just felt supernatural.
mm.
Whereas regular conversation, it was just you guys just sharing ideas, thoughts, and pretty much concerns and whatever it is about life and music. So, what do you credit your skills when it comes to interviewing?
Hanging around with y'all creators all the time. Noticing that, no, for real, noticing that a lot of y'all, well, I was actually talking to my homeboy, Asante Amin, who is a producer, singer, rapper, all that good stuff. He was talking to me about how he was approached to do an interview and he was so nervous about it. And I was like, why are you so nervous about it? He's like, because the word interview sounds so formal. And I
There,
was like, you're so right. So that's why when I reach out to artists now about doing interviews, I call them conversations. Yep. Yep.
got you. Do you feel as though that difference kind of shifts the energy when it comes to these interview slash conversations? Because like leaving the formality behind could leave out the professionalism, but having the conversation side could make them feel more comfortable. So
Right.
is balancing between the two for you?
I think one thing is that I'm that nice, happy going spirit anyway. I'm a mama bear, like you like to call me.
I didn't give the name for nothing.
So yeah, I feel like you get more out of the conversation when folks are comfortable. I truly do. And like I said, my main goal is to learn more about the artists, learn more about their creativity and how they approach things, than being super professional. I can make the interview professional when I write it up, but the actual conversation I feel like doesn't have to be professional for me. I feel like you learn more, you digest more when you are comfortable. So
Gotcha. What would you consider your favorite style of interview, rather than like a sit down like this, which is just like two people talking, or some people do the old school send 5 questions and get 5 questions back? Do you do the both, or would you consider one over the other?
I do all of those. I do all of those. It depends on how deep I want to go into conversation. Usually, though, I really like conversations, like video conversations. If I'm not, in the same area, some people just, feel a little weird. I know sometimes I feel weird too, though. So I'll be like, all right, so we're gonna talk
Social.
about this. But yeah, it depends, because sometimes if an artist hasn't it's just like promoting a single or something like that, I would try to do like the little Q&A. And that also depends on what time zone they're in, if we can like flex the schedule or whatever to, actually sit down and talk. But I really prefer to just do video like this. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Irv. I'm glad I didn't piss you off with this interview. Uh,
I'm so proud of you. It's growth.
this ain't about me right now. It's
Girl.
about always about the bottom screen. Bottom. But yeah, great interview. Um, Once again, thank you very much for taking time out of your day for answering these
Thank
questions
you.
and pretty much telling us how life is as a writer in this city. So I want to give a few last shout outs to everybody that's in the building right now. Huge shouts out to LB, shouts out to Justin, shouts out to Benjamin Banger, who's literally right there. Shouts out to Tom Castle, shouts out to Graffiti Tech, shouts out to TJW, Peacefully Neek, and Lay Skywalker.
There's a
Any
bunch
last?
of city folks in here. I just want to let you know that.
It
City
is.
is deep in here.
I don't know. I don't know what that says, because like I think it's just signs coming at me with the whole like 10-year thing. It's like, all right, dude, I've moved on. I've moved on. I don't even like talking about it. I just want to have a reunion and just hang out with my friends.
Like, are y'all having a reunion? Because
No.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
COVID, and I'm just like, all right, well, I ain't got to buy. I don't have to buy a suit. Thank God. So, Transcending Sound. Any last words? Any last promotions? Any last propaganda for?
Yeah. Oops. There we go. So, shout out to Rusty. He put it in there already. Check me out at transcendingsound.com. Transcending_sound over here on Instagram. Transcend Sound on Twitter. Also on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you can look it up. Transcendent Sound. June 1st will actually be 5 years for Transcendent Sound. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about that. And my hope is to have a live at some point celebrating. And actually, there's a couple folks in here. I actually plan on launching a podcast in June. So interviews on the podcast. Yeah.
Nervous.
Why would you be nervous. You got this game on lock.
Questions, Amirah. You know I like that TMZ stuff.
What?
Like, my favorite food. Like, nobody needs to know that. Just know that my album's coming out.
Lord. You'll be fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But, of course, thank you once again joining me for this episode. Thank everybody for coming through, showing love, whether it be 1 second, 1 minute, or the entire episode. And a huge thank you to Instagram for no cut, no commercial. Day 3.
I prayed for this. I prayed for this, bro. I prayed for this.
I'm actually impressed. I don't know whether it's me and my habits of cutting things off Wi-Fi and things like that, and it still messes up. So I'm just gonna give credit to IG, and because if I did it, guarantee it wouldn't happen. So huge shouts out to IG for letting us go for the entire interview with no commercial breaks. Yeah. Of course, shouts out to everybody that I've had on for this week of Inside the Rapper Studio. Next week, we are already booked up. I have a big surprise on next week's episode. I'm not going to say a word until tomorrow, so please look out for that. I'll let you know. Okay. So, basically, next week, I really want to start swinging it out the park. I really want to step up production, and I really want to pretty much invest, not just in the show, but invest in you guys for coming through and always showing love for the show. So, yeah, huge shouts out to you guys. Huge thanks to you guys. So, last words. We're almost 3 months into quarantine, to be quite frank with you. I feel like we're habitually in the house now, so the best thing we can do with this extra time is use it wisely. Whether it be with our habits, whether it be with the people that we spend time with or even talk to or communicate with. I just want everybody to use this extra time that never comes around wisely, because there's no telling when we'll get this time back.
And you've used yours wisely. So thank you for 40 episodes. That's real. That's real. I'm so proud of you for doing it for this long.
Thank you, Amirah.
Real talk.
I tell everybody, and it's not to shame myself or anything like that, I legit have nothing else to do. Work. I work 40 plus hours almost every week at work when I had a job. To have that time back, first of all, it's a blessing. Second of all, it gives me way too much idea space to execute things like this. So
this your calling, though. I feel like it is. I feel like you should do more of this.
I've been watching TV all my life. There's no way in hell I'd fail at this. So it'd be a failure upon myself if I didn't do it right. So it's just not wasting time, which is the entire point of the final Friday thought. I think I should do that now.
You should.
I might. But yeah. Of course, episode 40 in the books, Inside the Rapper Studio. Thank you guys once again. Thank everybody that's still live. And of course, thank you, Amirah, for coming through. And yeah, as always, wash your hands and stay in. Thanks, Amirah. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.